YouTube Studio. There we go. This is just what it is. Okay, and I'm live on YouTube. Good morning for anybody who can already see me. I'm just setting up the rest of the streams. Man, I can't wait to have some funding so I can hire someone to do this bit for me. That'll be so wonderful. Yay. Let's pause that. Grab this embed code. Got to put this over here on the landing page. Copy, paste, save. Awesome. Now, oops, a big moment. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Hello? Let's refresh this page. Am I live? Yay! Wahoo! Okay, we're live. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? So excited to be here today. Let me just get the others of my streams going. Just gotta do, what do we got here? Live on Instagram, And the last one is live on LinkedIn, live on Twitter, live on Facebook. Eee! Hi, everyone. Remember that there's a chat box right at, if you're on the streaming page, remember there's a chat box where you can, hi, Mara, good morning. Let's hit record here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Deep Ministries weekly live streaming. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And if I can just say, it's even more of a pleasure to be here and not be sick anymore. Yay! So exciting. Let me just go over here, make sure my stream is live on Facebook. Boom. All right. We're doing it. We're nailing it. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Deep Ministries Live. If you're wondering why I'm looking at all of the different cameras, it's because I have 3 different sets of things going on right now, because that's what I've been instructed to do. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and dive right in to today because we've got a lot to cover in a very short space of time, and I can't wait anymore. So the first thing I wanted to check in with you, and I noticed my voice is a little bit raspy, so please do forgive me. I forgot to put my light on. See, when I have a person here helping me with technology, they'll remember all of the stuff, and I won't have to remember any of it. Yay! I can just show up. That will be my favorite when that happens. So, last week, you had the homework to notice or to think about what your life would look like if you didn't need money. You remember? If you didn't need money, how would you show up? How would your life be? What would life look like for you? What would you do? How would you spend your time? How would you feel when you woke up in the morning? Who would you spend your time with? What would your week look like? What would your month look like? What would be different about the way that you would live if you didn't need the money versus right now when obviously you have to do stuff And the stuff that you do brings you money, and you use the money to pay for your bills, and you're caught up in this cycle that I call the affluence addiction. Now, for more information about what the affluence addiction actually is, please reference last week's session. Good morning for everybody who's joining us. Reference last week's session when we went really into detail about the affluence addiction. I'm not going to cover it too much today, but I certainly will be continuing to teach about it as time goes on and as we spend more and more yummy time together. Whee! Okay, so if you didn't do your homework, why not? Okay, but then, of course, if you weren't here, I didn't know that there was homework. Okay. No problem. No Pablo, as we say in my house. No Pablo, if you didn't know that there was homework, that's okay. Maybe this is your first time catching the live stream. If so, I'm so happy that you joined us. Yay, welcome. So if you didn't make it to last week's live, no problem at all. You're here today, just kind of hold space while we move through the rest of this bit. If you were here last week and you didn't do your homework, why not? Was it because A, you're still on the fence? Life is fine. It's and you're not necessarily convinced yet that it could be different. Maybe you truly believe that your life is as good as it's going to get right now. So why even bother like making all of that extra effort to do something different? It's very uncomfortable. It takes a lot of conscious commitment and practical effort. Like you actually have to do something different. So if you're not convinced that life could be better, if you're not convinced that doing anything would actually change anything, then no worries, just sit on the fence. Like stick with us, stick with me, keep learning about the philosophy, but you're just not there where where you're ready. You don't have enough information to actually do something different. That's totally fine. There's no shame. There's no judgment about that. Maybe you're B. Maybe you think you want things to be different. But you want someone else to do it for you because it's too hard. You're like, hey, can someone else do it? Someone else would learn my lessons. They're too painful. They're too hard. I'm done. I'm tired. Can I sit down? Can I be done? Can this be it? Can someone else do that rest of that bit? And to you, I would say, nope. No one else can do it for you. There is no professional that you can go to who can take out anything that you don't want and then put in a bunch of stuff that you want, press that magic button, create that magic reaction that you're looking for, and everything in your life will be different. It's not going to happen. And that's, by the way, coming from someone who has a background 8 years in hypnotherapy, right? So if there's anybody who could just be like, dink, and pop things into your brain and change the way that you do things and change your everything, right? How much you commit to stuff, etc., it would be me. It would be a hypnotherapist, and I'm real damn good too. I'm very, very good. And not even I can just like, oh, come here, and I'll take you under my wing and I'll do everything for you. And then I'll give you back to yourself and everything will be fixed. It's not even possible. Okay, so there is no knight in shining armor that is coming to get you. There is no person who's coming to rescue you from yourself. You are your own knight in shining armor. Got it? So you are actually going to have to do, good morning, Joanna. Thanks for joining. You are going to be the one who's going to have to do something different. Ooh, you know, it sounds like a nightmare. It's not as hard as you think, I promise. I really do promise. So you're going to have to pop out of your delusion at some point if you want your life to be different. If you like this illusion that there is someone out there who's coming to rescue you, just stay right there. You're going to be constantly triggered by me, so you might want to unfollow me. because I'm going to constantly remind you that you are the only person who can rescue you. But in the meantime, hold on to your illusion and just kind of, good morning, Marvin. Let's kind of wait. Or maybe you're C, the pain of where you are currently at hasn't surpassed the pain of moving outside of your comfort zone. And that's also totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Maybe you are not suffering. Yeah, it kind of does lead back to a little bit to A, but it's more kind of movement focused. And for those of you who are just joining, this is our third weekly session. And last week I assigned some homework. Just running through some possibilities of why people wouldn't do their work during our time apart. Maybe you're D. Maybe you think you want to change, but you don't actually want to change. As long as you look like you're trying to change, as long as you have the appearance of doing the work, then everyone will get off your back, including yourself. So maybe that describes you, and maybe that's why you can listen, you can show up, you can be present, but you might not actually ever move into the action part of things. You might just stay in the watching part, learning part, or at least maybe listening part, giving yourself and everybody else around you the illusion that you're trying to change, but you actually don't have the unconscious desire to. And that's also totally fine. Maybe you're E. Maybe you are still learning how to prioritize your inner healing. Maybe you don't get how important it is. Maybe you don't yet quite have a grasp that that unless you change or do something different, unless you change the way that your mind works, nothing is going to actually change. Nothing will actually be different. And that's also totally fine. And so if you're a person who is still learning how to prioritize your inner healing, then odds are when it comes to why didn't you do XYZ that was only focused on yourself and only benefiting you and your path, the answer will usually be, oh, I was too busy. I was too busy. But guess what you're not too busy to do? Anything that you choose to. You're not too busy to do anything that you want. You'll always make time to do the things that you want. So that's why I know it's a prioritization issue, not a too busy issue. I'm not trying to tell you that your life is not full. Your life is absolutely full. So is mine. Heck, we all have full lives, no matter what it is that we do. And that's why we get to choose to prioritize certain things that are important to us if we desire for things to be different. Got it? That's the only time we have to learn how to prioritize. If you are happy with how things are, you have everything that you could ever need and want. Beautiful. I am so celebrating you. I'm so overjoyed. I am just so marveling in your ability to be able to have created that. Congratulations. But if not, if you are not satisfied with where you are, if you are not content, if you are not overjoyed, if you are not happy, then by default, you want things to be different, right? Or maybe you are F. And F is, I was present, I did hear the homework, but I forgot. And if you are F, that means that you have some unconscious resistance coming up because the mind goes, oh, you don't need that, and just sweeps it away. Later, after the live stream, just goes, you don't need it. Send it over there. You don't need that anymore. Or maybe you remember it and you think about it all day and you ponder it. And then later, you wake up and overnight the mind has cleared it out. Good morning, Lindsay. How are you? Good to see you. Joanna says she feels like she's been all of those at some point. But thankfully, she has let go of that story and she's ready to rock and roll. Oh, yeah. Boom. Drop the mic. That is very exciting. Good morning, Jerome. Thank you for joining. Okie dokie. So, the bottom line is, I think that you get the message. This is not, the purpose of this is not to shame you. It's not. Well, how's that going to help you? It's not to make you feel bad. No, I don't want to make you feel bad. I want to make you look in the mirror. That will always be my purpose. I want you to see yourself clearly. I want you to be able to see what you're doing to yourself, to others. I want you to recognize that you have choices. I want you to know what's going on with you. Why? Because with self-knowledge and self-awareness, we can actually choose for things to be different. We can choose for our lives to be different, to be better, to have exactly what it is that we want and that we need and that we desire and that we crave and that we cherish. Because I have this really outlandish theory. Are you ready? It's totally fantastical. I have the theory that you deserve to have every single fucking thing that you want. Everything. I believe that you get to have everything you desire, all of the resources. That includes money, love, self-acceptance, compassion, safety, security, connection, purpose. Hi, Chris. I truly believe that you deserve to have everything you want. And if you don't have everything that you want right now, in this moment, it's because something needs to change. And how can you change what you're not aware of? If I don't hold a mirror in front of your face and say, look at yourself, look at what you are doing to yourself. If I don't do that and no one else does that, then you're sitting in this stew of emotions, of discontent, wondering why everybody else seems to get to have what they want and you don't. So yeah, sometimes I play the part of really direct, sometimes seemingly harsh messenger, but you have to know, and hopefully you can feel it, it's my open heart center, you have to know that everything is coming from true divine love, because I truly believe that you deserve to have everything that you want. And I want you to have everything that you want. I crave it. I long for it. I deeply desire with every fiber of my being that you have exactly what it is that you want and need in life. Everything. That idea that, oh, it's too much, I can't have all of that stuff. That idea, I want you to have that. With tons of reality, tons of doses of reality built in. Okay, so that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. Now I feel like you've had your you've had your proverbial spanking. Let's move forward. And let's get into kind of a little bit about what we're going to talk about. Perfect. You ready? Who's ready? Okay, so today we're going to talk about the mountaintop, the magical, mystical mountaintop. Hey, Ralph. Welcome, sweetheart. Good to see you. Okay, and the mountaintop, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the mountaintop, yes, just some love taps, just some love hammers over the head, Chris. Exactly. We're going to talk about what the mountaintop is and how I know that there is no proverbial mountaintop, that it doesn't exist, and what the fuck to do about it. Holy shitballs. Okay, So if this is your first time watching me live, I'm a cursor. I do not believe in filtering myself at all, actually, except for running it through filters of, is this a respectful thing to say? Those are basically my only filters. Not trying to preserve someone else's emotions, not trying to protect someone from truth, but just, is this truth? Is this real? Is this a respectful thing to say? Those are kind of basically my only filters. Everything else just comes out as it comes out. All right, darlings. Almost everybody has a mountaintop in their mind. So what is that? The mountaintop is this grand place that when you get there, you have everything that you've ever wanted. Okay, so it sounds a little bit like what I just said, but I'm going to explain to you why it's not over our time together today. That's what we're talking about. It's not, it's different. So it's this grand place that when you get there, you have everything that you wanted. You feel the way that you've always desired to feel. You have all of the stuff that you've always desired to have. It comes with this magical, dreamy feeling of glamour, whether or not you're on, like, a beautiful fancy yacht in the Maldives eating grapes fed to you by an attractive person. Like, that's not what I mean by glamour. A glamour is just like, it's got this dreamy, magical quality to it. It feels like bliss. This is kind of our misperception of what bliss feels like. It feels like perpetual contentment. Contentment that is always present, that is always there, that always makes you feel lit up and glowing, and nothing bad happens on the mountaintop, and all of your problems are solved, and fruit magically grows. It's got this like manna appearing in the desert kind of sensation, right? That's the mountaintop. It's like this place, this magical destination that we're trying to get to. Now, a mountaintop is 100% going to be different for each of you. Okay, so for some of you, and in fact, for many people in the world, this magical place, this mountaintop, is an amount of money. So it's a certain amount of money. So either it's a certain amount of money that you are making currently, like on a month-to-month basis, or it's a certain amount of money that you have in your savings accounts, your investment portfolio. It could be the value of your portfolio. So it could be in real estate investments or crypto or whatever, right? So there's an amount of money mountaintop goal. For some people, it might be an achievement or an award, right? People going for a Grammy or a BAFTA or a Golden Globe, right? An Emmy. Oh, goodness. Not involved in the entertainment industry, not sure if you can tell. One of those kinds of awards. Or a sports award, like the Super Bowl. It's very exciting. Super Bowl is coming up in just a couple of weeks here. So maybe that's the mountaintop, right? This goal, this achievement, this award. It could be a person. It could be your soulmate or this magical being that's going to exist, that's going to make everything better. They are going to make everything better. They will solve all of life's problems, etc., etc. Okay, it could be a result, right? Maybe it's a certain percentage of an exam, or maybe it's a who knows? I sold this many somethings this month or this year, and that's the mountaintop, right? Could be so for me, one of my lifetime goals is to awaken, activate, liberate, and empower 1 million light leaders, healers, teachers, and coaches. Wait, what's one of my lifetime goals again? I remember now. So that is obviously a result. So that could be the mountaintop. That could be the Mecca. It could be your children. If my children achieve XYZ, then that's your mountaintop. It could be raising money for, right? It could be raising money for a nonprofit or for a certain something. It could be a level of education. So your mountaintop could be a level of education, right? But we all have some kind of mountaintop in mind, whether we know what it tangibly looks like or whether it's more of an unconscious thing. I'll tell you what, even if you don't know what your mountaintop actually is, you absolutely fucking know when it feels like someone else has gotten to your mountaintop. Right? Like when someone else seems to be living your dream, ooh, the feelings that come up, the inadequacy, the fear, the terror, the anger, the frustration. So even if you think you don't have a mountaintop, spend 10 minutes on social media comparing yourself to people on there, and you will see very quickly that even if you don't know what it is, you absolutely have one, because you know that you're not there. Am I right? I know I am. That's a rhetorical question. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful, Jerome. Absolutely, you are divine love, light, and truth. That is so accurate. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so, excuse me, dang, I just muted in order to cough, and then it still came out. Never mind, we're fine. Moving on. So, we did not fabricate this idea that the mountaintop exists. We didn't actually make this up. We didn't create it. It was intricately woven into the fabric of our society, into the conscious collective over tens of thousands of years, okay? So we didn't create it. You didn't make this up. From birth, maybe even from before birth, you're getting messages about this mountaintop, this proverbial goal. You're getting it from your DNA encoding. You're getting it from your ancestral trauma. You're getting it from your parents. You're getting it from TV. You're getting it from the media. We're constantly bombarded from the moment of our conception, not even birth, guys, not even birth. From our conception, we are constantly bombarded about this idea that there is a mountaintop that exists. And it simply doesn't. There is no mountaintop. Feel the weight of that, because it hurts. It hurts. If you've been focusing on a goal, if you've been focusing on getting to a somewhere, it really hurts to conceive that where you're going doesn't exist. Ouchies. Ouchies. And Joanna says it's the perfect way to keep us distracted from tapping into our truth. Ding, 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 ding. Nailed it. You fucking nailed it. Absolutely. It is the perfect distraction. It is the ultimate illusion. It is the ultimate hypnotic trance to keep us stuck in, feverishly racing towards something that doesn't exist. And running there, right? Running there, exhausting ourselves, tiring ourselves out, doing whatever it takes, losing sleep, skipping out on family occasions, right? Not spending time with our loved ones, in order to continue to race towards this created, fabricated, manufactured illusion that doesn't exist. Also, if we believe that there's a mountaintop, it makes it much easier to sell us magical elixirs, potions, things and stuff that will help us get to the mountaintop more quickly, right? If we believe in the mountaintop, we're going to buy stuff that people say, this is going to get you to the mountaintop more quickly. Oh, we'll bend over backwards trying to buy that stuff. We will sacrifice. Ugh, I have a hair, sorry. It's tickling me. It's so distracting. And so there are lots of people who benefit financially from this illusion that there is a mountaintop that exists. It's ick, but this is just what it is, right? And many people, we talked about the affluence, the different stages of affluence addiction last week, but there are many people who would justify the ickiness behind selling us a dream that is false by saying it's just business. It's just business. It's not personal. What the fuck? If I am a human and I'm involved, that makes it fucking personal to me. If you are willingly playing into and stretching out and expanding this illusion that the mountaintop exists, that makes it personal to me. I care about that. That affects me. That affects the way that I live my life. That's fucking personal. This bullshit that it's business and not personal is such a cop-out. It is such a cop-out to stop from having to connect with our humanity and remember and realize that we're here to work together, that we're here to do this together. Because that's the truth. That is the absolute divine truth. And there is no truth that's more true than that. We are here to be in this together. Got it? So the fact, before I stop my live stream next time, I'm going to check myself for hairs because it's so annoying. Okay, so the fallacy that everything will be fine, that everything will feel good when we get to the mountaintop is a fallacy. And here is another level that your brain will even trick you on. Your brain will tell you, oh yeah, I know there's no mountaintop. I know that there's no perfect. I know that there's no place that I'm going to get to where everything is going to be, exactly the way that I want, exactly the way that it is in my mind. I know, I get it. And yet, how do you feel when you see someone who looks as if they've gotten to your proverbial mountaintop? Do you feel great? Or do you feel inadequate? Or do you feel frustrated? Do you feel jealous or envious? Even if it's not jealousy, envy. Oh, when's it my fucking turn? When do I get to my mountaintop? That's how you know, guys, that your brain is tricking you. Because you can know something with your 5% of your unconscious mind, right? You can know something when you're with your cerebral prefrontal cortex, ventromedial prefrontal cortex, you can know it. And the other 95% is like, yeah, but what about this? Someplace it's beautiful, mountaintop, illusion, image, a video montage sequence that it has in your mind. Yeah, I know with my 5%, my prefrontal cortex, but what about this? The other 95% whisks you away on a journey to make you forget, to make you forget that just for a second you were tapped into truth, okay? I call them glamour goals. Anything that has this idea, oh, I love this, Joanna. Oh, yes. Snaps for you for being so real with yourself. Snaps, girl. Yes, proud of you. injustice, unfairness, envy, unappreciated. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And yes, we can recognize that it fucking sucks to feel that way. However, this is how we feel. We can't deny it. And if we feel this way, it means that there is a part of us that is not in alignment, that is not seeing or living truth. And that is also okay. But you actually have to acknowledge it. You have to recognize it. You have to have awareness about it in order to do something about it. Yes? Okay, cool. So we've got these glamour goals. We're going to talk a little bit more about glamour goals later on. Not today, later on, another time. And the mountaintop is the epitome of glamour goals. It is the ultimate glamour goal. Okay, this mountaintop. It's this idea that once I hit this, once I get this, once I achieve this, once I have this in my life, that will be enough. Everything will be good. Everything will be settled, right? And because it doesn't exist, what happens when we get there, right? What happens if we get the amount of sales that we anticipated making this month? What happens when we hit that number goal? What happens when we achieve that thing, or our kids actually do that thing, or we win that award? What happens then? And you know it, because I know that you've set goals for yourself and you've hit them, even if they're just small goals. But you know what happens. When you get there, it doesn't look like, or feel like, or sound like, or act like it was supposed to. Yes, Joanna, it's still not enough. Wait a minute. When I got here, I was supposed to be happy. Wait a minute. When I got here, I was supposed to feel content. Wait, what? When I have this person, I'm supposed to feel complete. I'm supposed to feel satisfied. But this is wrong. Or I did it wrong. Or it was the wrong goal, so I better just create a new goal and go for that, right? Obviously, that goal wasn't high enough. It wasn't enough money. It wasn't the right person, right? It wasn't the expanded experience that I was expecting to have at this elaborate award ceremony or this interview on this famous show. So it was the wrong goal. We've got to create a new goal. Yes, Lindsay, I love it. I love how tapped into truth you are, babe. Or we internalize. Oh, I'm not cut out for this. I did it wrong. That was my fault. I'm not enough. I can't do it. I'm broken, right? And all of those inner narratives, all that inner monologue that happens, all of those stories about ourselves. Or even just switches all the way off. Well, there's no point. There's no point to life. Like, I thought that I was going to be able to be happy when I hit this goal, and I hit this goal and I'm still not happy. Therefore, that must mean that happiness is an illusion. No one is actually happy. I've had these conversations with people, you guys, that truly believe that happiness is sorry. It's serious. It's serious. I should not be giggling at this, but it's so ludicrous that it just makes me giggle. But people actually believe that happiness is an illusion, that it's created by other people, that it doesn't exist, that everybody is lying. And they're serious. They're serious. They actually believe this. And I'm like, okay, let's begin to unwind this, because, I mean, I already know happiness. Like, I can already tell you about it. I can already tell you what it feels like. Does it mean that I'm happy 24/7? Fuck no. God, I'm a human. I have other ranges of emotions. But happiness is a choice, and that's another topic for a different day. Cool. All right. So what happens then? We get to the mountaintop. It doesn't look like, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't sound like, it doesn't act like how we thought it was supposed to. So we touched on this last week. Depression sets in, right? Life becomes an empty void. There is nothing. There is no point. There is no reason for any of this. Or we move the goalpost immediately without any kind of acknowledgement or celebration. Or three, sometimes, just sometimes, on rare occasions, we move into enlightenment. We wake up. We realize what's happening. You realize that what I'm saying is actually true, that the mountaintop does not exist. Because I know that some of you are sitting there and going, yeah, but the mountaintop exists for me. Or maybe it doesn't exist for anybody else except for that guy. And because I know that guy, because he lives on the mountaintop, I'm going to just copy him. Or I'm going to just go with him because you don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm right. I am right. I know I am. There is nobody in existence who is living the life that you are perceiving that they're living. There's nobody who is living on, hey, Malgazata, good to see you. There's nobody who's living the life that you think that they are. I promise you. Because we're all human. And I want to share how, in fact, a story, how I came to this knowledge, how I came to this truth. I'm going to learn it from somebody. I'm sure that I've gathered like pieces of information over time, right? Because we all do, that's what we do, and piece it together in a way that makes sense to me. But I had an actual experience of getting to the proverbial mountaintop. Okay, so it's what kind of, yes, Joanna, yay! Oh, that light bulb moment makes this entire 90-minute session worth it. So awesome. So I reached the proverbial mountaintop, like I was just saying, and I had to be there to be able to see the other side. So a couple of years ago, my business was like on freaking fire. I had all this extra money, and so I decided to invest it in Bitcoin. And I found this company that offered you this like really sensational APR on your Bitcoin. And it was very exciting. And a bunch of my friends jumped in all at the same time. And we were like, oh, this is so exciting. We're going to be the people that have the islands, and we'll just get on your yacht and go to her island. And, it was kind of fun. It was really exciting. Ended up putting 20 grand into this company. And it was really fun, right? Because we sat and we like calculated how much we're going to be paid out, and we would shoot over spreadsheets to each other. And I calculated that, if everything paid out as planned, and as long as I had a teensy bit of restraint with this company, that within 2 years, I could be making passively $200K a month. And yeah, there's lots of people who are making $200K a month, not passively necessarily. But yeah, it's totally possible. This is not unheard of. This is happening right now to millions of people making that much money. But for a person who used to be single, homeless, single mom, a single mom, wait, how do I, words and sentences. When I started my business, I was homeless for the fourth time, and I was a single mom. There, words strung together, check. For me, the idea of making $200K a month passively and still doing my thing, because that's not my thing, right? My thing is this is my thing. That just blew my world apart. Really, big time. And it was coming, like I could see it. It's not like, in this magical universe in 10 years time, I could be possibly making $200K a month if I take all of the exact right steps. No, it was easy to track. It was percentages and data. It was payouts and numbers, right? So I was like, shit. This is the real deal. In 2 years, I could be making $200K a month passively. And I was like, okay, what would I do with that? Right? What would I do? Well, it would just take me 5 months to buy my island in full for my retreat center and my, homes and everything like that. My transitional homes for people in tough spaces. Like, okay, well, after 5 months, then what am I going to do with that 200K? And I was like, whoa. So I just started like planning out everything. Like I couldn't get beyond like a year, maybe 18 months of what to do with that money. And I was like, and man, it's just going to keep coming in every month, every month, every month, every month. And I started to have this like meltdown identity crisis. Weird. I was not expecting it. I was not anticipating it. I had what I assume celebrities have when they get to that point of money and fame, where there are no longer any obstacles in their life. They can literally go where they want, literally buy what they want, literally do what they want with exactly who they want at any time. There are no obstacles, there are no challenges left. I got to the other side of the mountaintop. I got there, in my mind at least, right? Because it was certain, it was trackable, it was on a spreadsheet. I had numbers and data and payouts, right? So I was like, oh, damn. And at the same time, my business was really thriving. And I was making 50, 60K a month. And so I was practically in real life doing what I wanted, how I wanted, with whom I wanted, buying what I wanted. And to take that experience and then expand it by 4 or 5 without having to work my ass off, without having to be with this frenetic, obsessive, addictive kind of workaholic-like mentality. I lost myself for a couple of weeks. I was like, wait, if I no longer have to consider money, if I no longer have to worry about money, who am I? Because that's been so deeply ingrained as a part of my identity, is that I struggle and I suffer, right, historically. And I'm always working towards something. I'm always working towards the mountaintop. So I hit the mountaintop, and there's literally like, there's literally like a teleportation device at the top of each mountain, transporting you to the next mountaintop. So there's like no more struggle. Then what? Then what do I focus on? And it's so beautiful for me to have this experience. I'm so grateful because it saves me a hell of a lot of time, life, money, life force connections and relationships, right? Because I realized at the top of the mountain, I would just keep being me. I would just keep being me. I would just be out of the race, right? It just wouldn't feel like a race. Hey, Savi. Just wouldn't feel like this addiction anymore, this like obsessive kind of thing. I would just keep being me, and I would just be more me, and then I would do it again the next day. I was like, oh, cool. Okay. And then beyond that, I had another ironic thought that we touched on last week. And the next ironic thought was, I wonder if we lived that way before we ever got there. I wonder if we would just magnetize the resources that we need and want to us. And as soon as I asked my team, they were like, oh, fucking yes. Exactly. Yes. If you live like that before you ever get there, all of your resources are magnetically attracted to you. Everything folds around you. And this is the source for those phrases. Live as if you're already there, right? or act as if you've already achieved it. Or this super cliche question, what would you do if you didn't need the money? Well, go do that thing, right? They've become so cliche, which means that they've become thin, which means that they've stopped being meaty. We've stopped actually like digging into the essence of what they mean. We've stopped because they've just become thin and vapid concepts and cliches. So we don't really understand the weight, the gravitas of what that means, which is why we have to talk about it, right? And in that moment, I realized that there is no mountaintop. I did. I saw it. I was like, oh shit, there's nothing here except more mountain. And I hit the void and I hit the depression. I had that moment. I had the moment where everything comes crumbling down. And I realized, oh, fucking shit, this is an illusion that we're all racing towards, that some people commit 50, 60 years of their life racing towards this illusion and never get there. Or they get there and then they die because they've never actually had the time to rest and recuperate. And they've missed life. They've missed the entire thing. They've missed the entire point of existence. And you hear these stories over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not making any of this stuff up, but I just started seeing it with my eyes open. And I was like, fuck. Holy shitballs. We've got to stop living like this. Enter deep ministries. Okay, so there is no mountaintop. No matter how many peaks we climb, there will always be another peak. There will always be another mountain. Why? Does anybody remember? Why will there always be another mountain? Why? If you were here. If you were here last week, why will there always be another mountain? Remember? Because our 3 reasons for existence are to grow, experience, and bring others with us. Grow, our first reason. So there will always be another mountain because we'll never reach the peak of our growth on Earth. Ever. Yes, Joanna, we're here to experience life. Yes. Earth was not designed to be a finite mountaintop. There is no plan in the ultimate design for us to get to the end. There is no mountaintop. A mountaintop wasn't designed for us. That is not the way. That is not the way that we're set up. That is not the way that Earth has been constructed. Earth has been constructed so that there will always be more growth. So there will always be more to experience. So that we can always have the opportunity to bring other people with us. But why is there that collective projection? Because, again, it's easier to sell magical elixirs to get us to the mountaintop if we believe that it exists. And when we're in that frenzied state of the affluence addiction, trance, we're much easier to manipulate and control. That's just the truth. We are. So the $1 million question is, what the heck do we do about that? What do we do? How do we shift this perspective? Lucky for you, I have a solution. I'm not letting you go, scratching your head, being like, I don't know. What am I going to do? How do I flatten the curve? I'm going to talk about it right now. I'm going to do one of my famous drawings for you. I love to draw on the whiteboard and I'm so terrible at it. Oh, don't care. Cool. Okay. So this is what we as humans typically do. We go at this really steep pace. What do I mean that we go at a steep pace? We're in hustle mode. We hustle, hustle, hustle. We wake up at 5 a.m. We cram as much action into our day. We're constantly doing. Oh, we have this like boo kind of energy. Oh, sorry for those who are on Instagram, but You're going to cut out soon anyway. So feel free to hop over to Facebook and check out my drawing. Okay. Or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube. Or my Deep Ministries streaming page. You can find the link in my bio if you're on Instagram. So we go at this alarming rate up this mountain, okay? And we get to the peak. And when we're here on the mountain, we have this like feeling of relief because we're almost there. So we even like go like a little bit faster. And then we get to the peak and we're like, no. Why? Because that's when we can see that there's more mountain. Fuck. There's more mountain. And I'm fucking tired. Why? Because I raced up this hill. And I get there, fuck, there's more mountain. That's not the top. The top is actually here. We don't rest. We don't relax. We don't celebrate. We don't do anything except for head up the next mountaintop. We head up this next steep curve. We don't stop. Like, we don't pause. We're like, okay, we adjust our goal and we go. Or we fall back down the mountain in despair. And I say it jokingly, but it's not funny, but that's really what happens. And then the same thing, we get to the top of this mountain and we're like, oh, why? Yes, that's a person. Because there's more mountaintop and the curve seems to be getting steeper. Reminds me kind of like Mount Doom, right? You get to the base of Mount Doom. Oh my God. You still have a whole other mountain to climb. And then you get to the thank you. And then you get to the top of that. No, more mountain. There just keeps being more mountain and more mountain and more mountain. Oh, right? Exhausting. If you look at it from that perspective, it's exhausting. Awful. So what do you do about that? No one wants to live like this. Do you want to live like this? If you do, you won't resonate with me. Just FYI. If this is how you like to live, cool. Unfollow. Hit the unfollow button. But if you don't want to live like that, if you don't want to spend your life chasing something that doesn't exist, then here is your solution. First of all, you flatten the incline. Okay. So instead of racing up this steep incline to try to get to the peak, you flatten the curve. Flatten it. What does flatten the curve mean? It means slow the fuck down. Slow down. Okay. Chill out. Relax. Instead of like backpack on your back and like, like those things that you climb up the mountain with. Obviously, I'm not a mountain climber. Therefore, I have no freaking clue what they're called. Okay, but instead of like up the mountain, slow down. Notice there's a path over there that leads to this beautiful green field that I think there's some fruit bushes over there. Let's go pick some fruit. Let's skip. Let's pick flowers, right? It's the cliche, stop and smell the roses. This is not an accident. Cliches are based in truth. They come from people who had a glimpse of truth and were like, oh my God, and grabbed that quick little snippet and said, oh, I gotta stop and smell the roses, and then immediately forgot what it meant, why it was there, why it was truth in the first place, right? Flatten the curve. You have universal permission to flatten the curve because there is no time limit. Yes, you have a finite time on Earth. You have a finite amount of hours in the day. That's part of the construct that we agreed to when we signed up for this, okay? Yes, I acknowledge the reality is in the 3D world, we have a limited amount of years that we are present. But there is no time limit as to when you can reach the peak of your experience or the peak of your growth or help the most people. There's no time limit, right? Because the longer you're alive, the more people you'll help. The longer you're alive, the more you'll grow. You will be your most evolved self, hopefully, as long as you don't stop. You will be your most evolved self the day that you die. You will have lived the peak of your experiences on that day. Okay, so no time limit. Why? Because you're always going to be growing. You're always going to have the opportunity to experience. You're always going to be able to take people with you. Flatten the curve. There is no rush. This isn't a race. Flatten the curve. Also, when you get to the peak, hi, Steph. When you get to the peak, pitch a tent, build a fire, invite people to come and sit around the fire with you. Swap stories with people who are also on the peak right there. Meet people, make connections, have experiences, enjoy people, enjoy your time, enjoy your family. Take stock of where you've just come from. Take stock of this bit. Realize where you've come from, what you've built, what you've created. Evaluate. How'd it go? Are there better ways to do it? Are there more efficient ways to do it? Are there people I can do it with that will make it easier? Integrate what you've learned. What did I learn? What did I learn on this journey? Sit still, man. Integrate it. Let it settle in. Let your unconscious mind receive it. Repack your pack, right? You can't take everything that got you here with you. So you unpack anything that you don't need. This is called cleansing, clearing, right? And you repack. Get the feeling back in your toes. Let your blisters heal. Read, meditate, relax, enjoy the view, write, share, teach. Okay, and what does this look like in real life? IRL. How can you slow down when you get here? How can you enjoy the journey? Well, usually when you get to this point, when you hit we call it a plateau, right? When you hit a plateau, you get to this point, people are usually exhausted. They usually have this feeling, I can't go another step. I can't go. I'm done. I'm tapped out, right? That's usually a feeling. And so there's a natural thing that can just kind of lead you into resting at that point. You're exhausted. Your body's calling for rest. Instead of pushing through and taking supplements or substances to keep you going, fucking rest, man. Rest. Heal. Also, what can come up when we hit a plateau are emotions, wounds, traumas. So take some time and heal those. You can work with a person. You can do a group program. You can read a book. You can watch a video. You can do some stuff. You can journal. You can write about your experience. You can release. You can cry. You can scream your rage out, not at a person, but you can just scream to get it out of your body. You can plan. Part of evaluating is what's happened? What did I learn? What did I do? Right? When I say repack your pack, taking out the stuff that you don't need, you can cleanse and release anything that you no longer need or want. Any old programs that are not going to serve you for this next leg of the journey. You can literally carve out time in your calendar to spend with people, to make time for connection. This is what I'm talking about, like the proverbial sit around the campfire and swap stories, make connections. In real life, this is what I'm talking about. These are the types of activities that you can do. And then when you're ready, when you're healed, when you're refreshed, when everything is kind of back in working order and you can kind of get back to business. Hey, Harriet, long time no see, babe. Then you can pack up your pack and you can get ready for the next leg of the journey. And you can keep going, but let's do a flattened curve. Let's keep the curve relatively flat. Let's still enjoy the fields along the way. Let's still smell the flowers and, oh my gosh, there's a hot spring. Let's go skinny dipping. You know, like enjoying what's around you, the people, the experiences. Let's keep the curve flattened. We don't need to do this, grossness. First to me, because it's just so, this is so out of alignment for me to travel, for me to consciously travel in that way. This is actually how my spiritual growth looks, but luckily I don't have that right in front of me. That's just my trajectory, how quickly I grow. All right, and then finally we'll get to another plateau and do the same thing. Enjoy the view, calibrate, rest, relax, celebrate your wins, commiserate your losses, grieve the ending cycles, grieve the closed out experiences, make room for more living, make room for more people, for more life, clear it out, right? And this is living. This is life. This, where every step of the way you are being present. This movement of being present is not woo-woo. It's become affected. What do I mean when I say affected? It's like people have taken it and made it annoying. That's the best thing I can come up with. So this idea, this like presence movement, some people have taken it and made it mean that they are better than others because ego will want to constantly trick you into believing that you've hit some kind of mountaintop. But this whole presence movement is based in truth. This is what being present is. It is being present in the moment, not thinking into the future or not living into the future with an attachment to it, right? We have to be able to dream. I'm not poo-pooing dreaming. In fact, it's so important that we dream because if you don't allow yourself to dream, you can't create a bridge. You can't create a way to something that has never existed before, whether it's in your life or in the world. We need to be able to dream. It's vital. It's a vital part of creation. We have to be able to consider that there's some stuff that is possible to exist. But when we have an attachment to that dream and we live in it as if it is the present, is when we start to get sucked into the affluence addiction and we stop being present, okay? This is the purpose. The cliche, the journey is the destination. Ugh, it's so overused, right? Just even thinking about the journey as the destination makes me feel gross that I just said it out loud. It's so funny. That's how cliche it is, but it's just fucking true, man. It's true. Living is living in the moment. Yes, we're going to keep growing because that's one of the reasons we're alive and we're on this planet. It is one of the answers to the question, why are we here? To grow, to evolve. So we're going to keep moving in an upwards trajectory, right? Hopefully, because we want to grow, we don't want to decay. But there's no time limit, there's no speed at which we have to go. I, for one, want to enjoy my journey up the mountain, up this path of growth. I want to be able to take a dip in the hot springs. I want to be able to have a massage and sit around the campfire and make s'mores until I'm sick to my stomach. Laugh until my cheeks hurt. That is what I choose. And I also choose to have as many of the resources like money and love and people and connection around me as is necessary in order to accomplish that. And I fully believe that. So when I say I believe that you can have everything that you want, I believe that you can have all of the money that you need or want. I believe you can have all of the experiences that you need or want. I believe that you can exist as your true self and get paid for it. And I believe it is your divine right to do so. That's what I mean. Hey, Mara, you jumped over here to see the diagram. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So that's my story. It's hard. Here, I can stop sharing now. That's the end of my fancy drawing. Yes, Joanna says we're taught to work and hustle while we're young in order to enjoy when we're old. Yeah, what a fallacy, right? Because of how many people we see hustling and working hard when they're young and then never actually getting to the point of enjoyment because they die before they can. And I know I say that flippantly. I don't mean it flippantly. It's one of the most heartbreaking cycles that exists within our humanity. That's why I'm fucking doing this shit. That is why I'm live today. That is why I have launched Deep Ministries. It moves me on such a level that it shakes me to my core, where I have decided to implement global initiatives. So please, do not mistake the flippancy of my tone for lack of seriousness about this problem. But it is hard, especially if you live in a Western country, the US or Europe, where things are very Western modern, very like hustle focused. It's really, really hard when everyone around you is going, hurry, 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 we gotta get there, we gotta get there. Ah, it's a new year. Oh, the end of the year is coming. Ah, like there's always time limits. There's always something to be done. There's always missed opportunities, right? No, 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 no. So it's up to you. It's up to you to maintain your own journey. It is going to be up to you to flatten the curve. It's going to be up to you to disengage from people who are going, yeah, but you're going to run out of time. Yeah, but you're not getting any younger. Yeah, but you need more, tools or skills or qualifications. It's going to be up to you to disengage from these people. One of the ways that you can do that is by tuning in to this weekly live stream. I will hold you accountable. Stick with me. Tune in. Stay on this path. This is what we want, right? We want the best, most vibrant experience of life, and we want all the resources that we need. Yes or no? Is that what you want from life? Stick around. That's where we're going. Because you are the architect of your own life. You are the one who decides what happens to you. You are the one who decides to have what it is that you want in the way that you want it, and to feel how you choose. If you don't want to waste your life, you must flatten the curve, and you must take pause on each mountaintop, on each peak that you get to, on each plateau. You must. This is not an option. This is not an optional part of the experience. You have to. It's a vital part of the experience if you don't want to break. If you don't want to break your mind or your body, you must flatten the curve, and you absolutely must take pause on the mountaintop peaks and allow your perspective to adjust. Okie dokie. Yes. Woo! Snaps for that. Fuck yeah. Right? Okie dokie. So if you're not driving, go ahead and close your eyes. If you are driving, you can feel free to do this next part, but just please keep your eyes open. Hopefully that is a given. So if you're not driving, close your eyes. And I want you to imagine just opening your heart center. Take some nice deep cleansing breaths. Breathe out any heaviness. Breathe out any panic that you might be feeling, or any fear, or any sadness around realizing that the mountaintop doesn't exist. There is a mourning period that comes with that. So you don't have to skip over it. That's not our focus right now. Just breathe. Allow your energy to settle. I want you to just kind of relax your mind and let your mind show you what your current mountaintop is. So before today, what did you perceive to be your proverbial mountaintop? What are some of your goals, like for your time on earth? Some of those things that are like, oh, if I could just get there, then everything would be better. And just hold them. Hold them off to the side. You want to be really cautious of keeping them contained so that they don't rule your existence. Doesn't mean you don't have to reach for them. It doesn't mean you can't still weave them into part of your existence, but not so much that you miss life. You don't have to let go of anything that you want. You just have to realize that that's not the point. Those things that you want are not the point of your existence. And coming back to the curiosity, the question, what would you do if you didn't need the money? How would you, yes, choose to spend your time if you didn't need the money? I'm going to keep bringing your focus back to this, because knowing what you want to do, knowing who you are, knowing who you choose to be is part of the experience of living. You need it. You need it. So I will keep holding it in front of you. And if the answer is I don't know, fine. Stick with us. Figure it out. It's just really important that you give your mind time to allow some of these false stories, perceptions, and illusions to unwind and deconstruct. Time and space, awareness. And if the universe knocks on your door and offers you a means to deconstruct this, and that's what you want, say yes. If the universe offers you a way to get those resources that you want and need, say yes. Thank you. It is your divine right to have your needs met. It is your divine right to have your desires met. And you don't need to earn them. You get to have them. Hey, Rich. You get to have them simply because you exist. Coming back to the body, back to the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? You back, you back, you back? Okay, your homework. Write this down if you're planning on doing it. Your homework for this next week is I want you to make a list of those mountaintop things. What mountaintops do you have currently that need to be dissolved? Doesn't mean you have to let them go, like I mentioned. They're just worked into the fabric, work into the living pot. What do you have? What mountaintops do you have? And if you haven't yet done the exercise of what does your life look like if you don't need the money, do it, please. Oh, thank you, Joanna. I appreciate that. I received that. What would life look like if you didn't need the money? Good. Okay, so for those of you who are joining me for the first time today, this is a new weekly live stream that I'm doing free every single week, teaching some of the Deep Ministries philosophies. I do have free and paid classes that you can take if you're ready to move into the working pot of this process. On my streaming page, there's a link to the first class of the first track, which is Why Am I Always Broke? I'm also going to add on there my first class to the second track, but I don't believe I've taught that yet. So when it comes, I'll add it. In the meantime, have an amazing week. Please, please, please share this either on your page or share it with somebody in particular, tag them in it. If there's someone that you know that you think really needs to see this, please, we've got to get the word out. I am simply one person, and I want to try to get in front of as many people that might need this as possible. So please feel free to share. Please feel free to tag people, invite them to the live stream next week. We have one more week of foundational groundwork that we're laying before we start moving into live online healing, which is very exciting. And that's all I have for you today. So have an amazing Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us live today. I'm so grateful for you. Oh, hey, Kat. Welcome. I'm so grateful for you, for your presence, for your commitment, for your willingness to do the work. I hope psychic school is good. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Mwah, 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 mwah. As always, Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. As always, love and light. So much love, so much light. The light in me sees and appreciates the light in you. Mwah! Are you watching on my streaming page? Yay. Cool. Bye. And now, and